made by Australia.
Established in 1974, alspec is the market leader in the design and distribution of innovative aluminium systems across Australia. Aluminium is strong, lightweight and 100% recyclable. Alspec is committed to sustainability and building Australia's future.
When it's time to build on quality that's proven in Australia's harsh environment. Build on Lysart, steel roofing and walling. Style. Experience. Excellence. You have it all when you choose Lysart, steel roofing and walling. Insist on the best. Insist on Lysart.
The 2022 Northern Territory Architecture Awards are proudly supported by the Australian Institute of Architects National Corporate Partners, BlueScope and Taubmans, alspec, Dulux and Brickworks, Bondor Metechno, Lysart, Fielders and Bosch, Plan Cover and Architecture Media, as well as the NT Chapter Partners, Gerfloor, WSP, QS Services, Northern Territory Government, Rossi Architects and Power Concepts.
Welcome to the wrap-up on the 2022 Northern Territory Architecture Awards. We have a slightly different format for you this year, reporting back on the announcements which were held on the 4th of June. The event was held outside at the Darwin Golf Club with a spectacular lightning display from a storm that luckily circled the event. It's great the NT members were able to get together face to face and celebrate the work of NT architects across the Territory. Well, the evening began with a welcome to country from James Parfitt from Top End Dreaming and Les Huddleston. And it was followed by speeches from NT Chapter Executive Director Raquel Nichols-Skeen and NT Chapter President Rossi Karunas. Let's take a look at how the evening began.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start, I just want to talk about the importance of the work that you do. I was a young 4-year-old child that went through Cyclone Tracy and had to live through the destruction and the falling down of houses around us. And I don't think yous appreciate the importance of the role and the job that yous do with designing, architect and supporting the building until a natural disaster like Tracy comes along. So keep up the good work and just not also designing something beautiful, creating something great, but you're also making our lives a lot safer, particularly in the north. I also just like to say I actually reside in a Halley Liveris design home. Great home, great place. And as I start my official welcome, I thought it was so poignant for what we're here for. So I'm going to add a quote from a movie. The movie is called Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner. You all remember that movie? Yes? No? And remember the most famous quote in the movie. If you build it, they will come. And that's what the Northern Territory is. A metaphor for the North. And the quote, if you build it, they will come. Of course they will, metaphorically and literally. I'd especially like to thank the Australian Institute of Architects Untitled Chapter Awards for putting on a fine event this evening. And I'd like to thank and acknowledge all the behind-the-scenes workers who helped put this together. So can we please give them a hand? It's a lovely night, it's a lovely venue, and well done to the event staff and committee. A big personal thanks for inviting and acknowledging the Larrakia people as traditional owners and custodians of this land, and for the Larrakia Nation people for our continuing culture and contributions to the community from yesterday, today and tomorrow. I wish to acknowledge and show my respect to our elders past, present and emerging, and thank you for inviting us to perform the Welcome to Country. I'd also like to acknowledge any other Larrakia and any other First Nations Australians, and especially everyone. No matter wherever your roots may come from, no matter about race, colour or creed, welcome to Larrakia country. Traditionally, when people from other lands visit Aboriginal country, a welcome to country will be performed by a traditional owner, not only to acknowledge the original inhabitants past and present, but to also give those receiving a welcome to country safe passage through our lands under the guidance and protection of our ancestors. We, the Larrakia, are the traditional owners and custodians of Darwin and its surrounding regions, and although we are known as saltwater people, our land boundaries extend approximately 50 kilometres inland across the harbour, the Cox Peninsula, and all the water and lands in between. But as a welcoming people, it has always been fundamental that we care and share for all, including visitors and those who live here, because when we care and share with others, we earn their respect, and this defines who we are as a First Nations people. When it comes to building, investing, and therefore supporting growth and the jobs that go with it, it really is a no-brainer. There is a massive change in developing the North, and we need architects, planners, and builders to go with it. To the south of us, there's around about 24 million people. To the north of us, Southeast Asia, there's 641 million people. And what is Australia's gateway to Southeast Asia? The land you're on right now, Darwin. To build the north, considering all of this, it really is a no-brainer. Our elders had passed on a passion that they passed on to us because they believed in creating a better future. See the pathways to opportunity before you. Hear the cues that unlock the puzzles of tomorrow. Understand that it's you who will help determine our futures, especially in the north. In business, there will be ups and downs, especially on the level of small houses to commercial scale. You're building, investing and working on, and when things don't seem so bright, when things are looking a bit challenging, I want you to think about these words. He's from a bloke I used to watch when I was a kid, and I thought he was a bit of a gun. He said, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, Don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, figure out how to go through it, or figure out how to work around it. You may have heard of him. His name's Michael Jordan. And if those words are good enough for him, it's good enough for you. Creativity comes from within. It is having the quality of being creative, which you can learn. It is using your imagination to create something. The ability to transcend ideas, rules, patterns, and relationships, all the like, and to create meaningful new ideas. And that's what the North needs. Creative ideas for our future. You have come by way of Larrakia land. While you're here, you'll hear the voices of our ancestors. When you leave, you'll take the Larrakia message with you. May our ancestors guide and protect you always. Again, welcome and thank you. Oh, thank you. But before I leave the stage, I want to introduce you to Les Huddleston. He's a great artist as well as a musician. He's very creative. He's actually got an exhibition on in Canberra at this very moment. And when we have the supercars race here in Darwin, you'll actually see his designs on 3 of those cars. So keep an eye out for it. And if there's any V8 supercar fans out there, just make sure you don't blink because you might miss him. Thank you, everyone. And please welcome Les Huddleston.
So welcome to the Australian Institute of Architects Northern Territory Chapter 22 Awards. We're back to normal since 2019. Alice Springs was our last normal one, and then we had 2 years where we actually got the whole of the last century, everything, into 2 years. So we're now back enjoying and being able to network outside. This year, the Institute is actually celebrating 60 years in the Northern Territory. Some of you may have been there for nearly that whole time. Some of you are new to it. Architects have been the cornerstone in designing our great territory and defining who we are as Territorians. We advocate for strong policies in the built environment, leading the way forward with our industry partners. We're working with Charles Darwin University to expand the degree here and include postgraduate education and research. So the Minister is also the Minister for Education, so this is fantastic for us. As architects, we address issues that are affecting us, our climate, and we design for our tropics, subtropics, arid climates. One size does not fit all, and that's what we see in a lot of our presentations over the years. We also have a strong focus on Indigenous housing, making sure great design is at the core of providing better outcomes for people in remote communities, and we're really excited about the work we are doing there. The NT chapter, although small, is mighty. What is showcased here tonight will once again challenge our interstate architects at the up-and-coming national awards. We always do well there because we do great stuff. There's no luck needed when the design talks for itself. Tonight, it's my pleasure to introduce you to our new president, Rossi, who I now invite on stage, and it gives me great pleasure to present him with a President's Badge.
It has been an exciting year within the built environment, starting to gain momentum after unprecedented times. Michael, thank you. Michael, thank you, everybody. And we can only hope there is more positive times to come. With the legacy of previous awards ceremonies held as a virtual or part thereof events, it's great to celebrate Territory architecture the way Territorians know best, under the stars. We firstly would like to thank all architectural practices for submitting their projects this year. We thank them for their hard work, resilience during these unprecedented times, and look forward to many more amazing projects to showcase across the Territory in the coming years. A special thanks also goes out to the amazing awards jury panel, which includes Emilio Fuscaldo from Nest Architects at Melbourne, Dr. Debika Mathur from CDU Alice Springs, and Kevin Peters from ICN. They brought together their diversity and varied backgrounds to provide a robust deliberation process, and we thank you for that. Can we all have a round of applause for the jury, please? We sincerely thank the National Award partners as well, BlueScope Steel, and our adopted Territorian, Mark Amos, which we had a beautiful game of golf this morning. So, Dulux, Brickworks, Lizart, and Alspec. Our local partners, Gerflaw, Northern Territory Government through Department of Infrastructure Planning and Logistics, WSP, Power Concepts, and QS Services. With it being my first year as President, I look forward to working alongside the Northern Territory Government to greater promote the architectural profession and advocate for our members. I also look forward to doing some positive grassroots work with the Architecture in Schools program and working closely with the SONA and Imagine teams to provide engaging and active programs throughout the year. Thank you for all that have attended the 2022 Northern Territory Architecture Awards tonight. We look forward to the awards program growing stronger by the year while we celebrate excellence in the architecture profession. As the President of the Institute of Architects in the Northern Territory, we've created the President's Prize. And I think it's fitting for the person that we've chosen this year, as they've been an iconic member of our industry. So, what can we say about good old Charles? Not saying that he was really old, but he did do the cost planning for the Pyramid of Giza. He didn't quite get it right. That's why there was only 3 instead of 5 that was gone through planning at that time. Just to let you know, Steve Huntington asked me to say that one. And I've gone out to the practices and asked questions and asked about anecdotes about Charles, because everyone's got their anecdotes about our good friend Charles. To quote David King Jones, Charles worked pretty much well every weekend. When I was working on the weekend and emailing Charles, I would get an email reply in 5 minutes. At that time, on Saturday morning, either Saturday morning all the way to Sunday night, I was getting that response. Emailing Charles back and asking, "Why are you always working?" On a weekend, he would reply, "Well, so are you, mate. So we both must be mad." Charles was an absolute gentleman and always liked a good chuckle, and I'm sure everyone could attest to that. To quote Joe Reese, he was a cheerful and supportive, always thanking everyone. Charles, I remember you fondly. You provided a reliable and excellent advice that gave anxious clients and architects an anchor in a way that was friendly, with humour, respectful cadence that guaranteed return. Charles was a valuable member of our Northern Territory construction industry. He provided his wealth of knowledge across each project and always had time for young, aspiring architects. He will surely be missed. Valet Charles. It is here I would like to announce this year's President Prize to Charles Wright for his excellence in the industry and his advocacy for the NT Architecture Awards program and profession. I'm sure I can say on behalf of everyone here today, there is no one more deserving than Charles Wright. Thank you, Charles. Can I please ask Charles' wife, Robin, to come up on stage to accept his award?
Charles would have been proud to be recognised by his peers for the contribution he made to the industry. Charles loved construction. It was his passion. So on behalf of Charles and QS Services, I say thank you to the Institute of Architects for this award. And God bless.
What a beautiful tribute to the late Charles Wright. Well, the next announcement on the night was the NT Student Prize, supported by new NT corporate partner Power Concepts. This prize is presented to the top architectural student in the year from Charles Darwin University. And this year, the prize went to Patricia Pindo. Congratulations, Patricia, and here's what she had to say on receiving the prize.
I'm honoured to be a part of this distinguished crowd tonight. I'd like to thank Matthew for presenting this award to me. I'd like to thank my family first and foremost for the love and support. I'd like to thank my lecturer Charmaine, whom I'm not sure if she's here with us tonight, but I'd like to acknowledge everything that she's done for me, for sticking with me and guiding my path, essentially, for the past 3 years. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge and thank Power Concepts Fire and Electrical for the sponsorship of this award. I feel justified that my hard work have paid off and have been acknowledged. Thanks again, everyone, and have a great night.
Well, before we get into the main awards category announcements, Mark Amos from BlueScope was there on the night and had these words to say.
Tonight we are coming together to celebrate outstanding achievement in architecture. We at BlueScope are a long-standing supporter of the architectural industry and have partnered with the Institute for many years now. We know that architects are passionate about the sustainability credentials of building products they specify. Earlier this year, we were awarded the Responsible Steel certification for our Port Kembla Steelworks. This shows the industry they are sourcing from a facility that addresses key environmental, social and governance issues. At BlueScope, colour is our inspiration, and we are constantly striving to provide you with more choice in colour and finishes. As such, I'd like to mention that we will be at an upcoming event soon where we will be launching our refreshed ColourBond steel palette. On behalf of BlueScope, I'd like to congratulate all tonight's entries for another year of contributing beautiful and engaging architecture.
Thanks so much, Mark. And now on to the main awards categories. Let's take a look at the projects considered by the jury this year.
The Shed by DKJ Projects Architecture.
Responding to the client's brief of a minimalist, elegant corporate storage box, this bold but simple new warehouse design includes 550 square metres of open internal space, with bathroom amenities, car parking, loading bays, pylon signs and a secure boundary fence. And particular attention is given to the nighttime aesthetic. Berrima Farm Molecular Diagnostic Facility by Mode. This world-class laboratory project for agricultural biosciences research and development in the Northern Territory provides an enhanced capacity for preparedness, rapid detection, response and management of plant and animal pest and disease outbreaks. The high level of technical complexity within the building is mirrored in the external facade, with graph results extruded into the colour sections and extended into the building elevations. Banksian House at RAF Darwin by Hames Charlie. The refurbishment of the heritage-listed Banksian House has reinforced the building's importance as a significant example of early Darwin tropical residential architecture. Located in RAF Darwin's historic housing precinct, the refurbishment was a delicate balancing act between preserving the original architectural integrity, fabric and appeal of the building, while providing a modern facility for the Australian Defence Force. Manunda Place by Mode. The Manunda Place interior was designed to efficiently cater to a diverse workforce with changing needs. The people-centric layout developed through extensive client consultation. The space captures the surrounding views and the finishes reflect the natural surrounds. Motorsports House by DKJ Projects Architecture. Realising the site's potential, this project is perched on the escarpment overlooking the Hidden Valley racetrack. The asymmetrical, double-storey internal atrium welcomes visitors to the facility while providing a zone for historic imagery and exhibitions. Embraced by its end users, it also fulfills an important role as an emergency response headquarters. And RDH Cyclotron by DKJ Projects Architecture. This new radiopharmaceutical facility on the Royal Darwin Hospital provides specialist health services to the community, housing a cyclotron, clean rooms, micro-laboratory, office space and mechanical space. The building plan aligns lab functions along a continuum, parallel to the movement of material from the cyclotron to its clinical use. And to set the scene for the announcements, the jury chair, Emilio Fuscaldo, had this to say about the process of assessing this year's entrants.
Firstly, a huge thanks to Raquel, Karen and Rossi for inviting me to be the chair of the jury and all the hard work you've done. It must feel like herding cats sometimes, and I particularly appreciate the light show that you've organised over there, so thank you very much. It's a great honour to be part of a jury, and I was really humbled, so thank you. Having lived in Darwin for a short period last year, successfully escaping the COVID wars down south, I was really excited to visit the Territory again. It's a great opportunity to connect with the architectural community up here, which I only scratched the surface of when I was here. With my fellow jurors, Deepika and Kevin, we were introduced to an array of projects which ranged from complex scientific laboratories to colourful storage sheds. The breadth of projects clearly demonstrates that architecture in the NT comes in all shapes and sizes, and it's valued well beyond just simple aesthetic qualities. We were privileged to speak not only to the architects, but also the clients, consultants, and even on occasion the tradespersons and builders who were involved. The collegial spirit with which the projects were undertaken and the pride everyone felt from being part of the projects was really inspiring. I think what really struck us as a jury was that the success of these projects was due in large part to the architect motivating a really dedicated team. The idea of an architect as someone who empowers a team to work together really does challenge our long-held notion of the architect as the hero and the singular creative genius. This stereotype might play well in books and films, but it's a long way from how the world actually works. I think up here in the NT, more than anywhere else in Australia, where you have to deal with the weather, the remoteness, and all the unique challenges the territory throws at you. Successful projects happen not because of one single person, but because the architect is a collaborator, an educator, and an enabler, someone who empowers their team and empowers all the people in their project to work together. Thank you.
Well, the first announcement was for commercial architecture, a category supported by Lysart. And the jury awarded a commendation for commercial architecture to The Shed by DKJ Projects Architecture. The Shed joins an underappreciated segment of architectural design, the industrial building, and creates an architectural statement in the centre of the Winnelli Industrial Zone. Carefully detailed precast panels and bold, colourful motifs express a confidence in design and construction. During the day, the storage facility stands out on the street, a landmark in a sea of grey buildings. At night, the Shed changes its clothes, lights up and breathes life into the area with the confident use of light and colour. Congratulations, DKJ Projects Architecture. Moving on to heritage, supported by alspec. And in this category, the jury gave an award to Banksian House at RAF Darwin by Hames Charlie. And this project also took out the 2022 People's Choice Award with 123 out of the 252 votes cast. A clear popular choice. And here's what the jury had to say about this exceptional project. The jury was impressed with Hames Charlie's commitment to the architectural heritage of this humble building. Originally designed by celebrated Northern Territory architect C.G. Burnett and completed in 1941. One of just a few remaining examples of tropical residential architecture of that era, many original architectural details were preserved or carefully reproduced, while Burnett's original design, which allowed ample cross-ventilation, was given a new lease of life. Given the amount of heritage buildings lost in the Territory, the jury applauds this beautiful example of early 20th century subtropical architecture for being not only refurbished but celebrated. Congratulations, Hames Charlie. And Raquel caught up with the team from Hames Charlie after the announcement to have a chat about what it meant to them to win this award.
Well, it's been such a really interesting night, but one of the most exciting projects we hear is respecting our heritage. And the Heritage Award tonight for the beautiful Banksian House and also the People's Choice. I mean, that is amazing that you overwhelmed in terms of those results. So just have a chat to us about how the project came to be and, you know, the excitement of it.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've done a lot of heritage restoration on the RAF base and various other bases around Darwin. This building had significant importance due to its history and its importance of who it housed with senior members of the Defence Force. And it had housed people like the Pope, which not many people know, and members of the royal family. So an incredibly important part of Darwin's history. And as I said earlier, we don't have a lot of our historic architectural buildings left in the Northern Territory, whether it be through cyclone, through war. So it was great to be able to work on such an important project.
Yeah, and one of the things I liked is keeping some of that heritage, like the bullet holes that are downstairs in the pylons, and you know that reflects our history. You know, to be able to bring that and keep that has been amazing.
Yeah, correct. It's important with heritage restoration that you leave remnants of the history. It's not about restoring to as new, it's about telling a story. So yeah, elements like that where the concrete columns had been damaged during the war. I mean, they're great tales, and they're parts that need to be retained and kept. Yeah.
Well done. It was such a great night, and you enjoyed working on the project as well?
Oh, absolutely. It was a privilege to work on that.
it certainly, one of my key factors is you can sit on the veranda and watch the apron of the planes coming in and out. So I love that kind of nerdy thing, but it was really a beautiful project, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Raquel.
that.
No
Thank you,
worries.
Raquel.
Well, the announcement for interior architecture was next, and the jury gave an award in this category to Manunda Place by Mode. The Manunda Place interior is a wonderful example of how a diverse and ever-evolving workforce can be catered for with a design that prioritises people over corporate image. The project flips the typical office hierarchy by placing the closed offices in the centre of the floor plate and locating the majority of the open offices next to the windows. Here they can enjoy light, ventilation, views and access to the balconies. Robust, colourful and natural materials have been used throughout the building, creating a welcoming and warm feeling throughout the workplace. And the jury were impressed with how Mode puts the office workers' needs and well-being at the forefront of their design. Congratulations, Mode.
Thank you to the jury, but also mainly to our client, the Northern Territory Government, for entrusting us with this design. The builders, Pat Fraser from Hutchies in particular, we worked very closely with them. Also the design team. I know she's no longer with us, but Jenny, thank you for everything that you did on behalf of Mode for that project. But also Erin, who's here tonight as well from our Melbourne studio. Thank you.
The next announcements were for public architecture, where the jury gave an award to Berrima Farm Molecular Diagnostic Facility by Mode. This is a great example of how architects can successfully extend their client's brief. The project goes beyond simply supporting the scientific activities that it houses, but also enhances these activities with the introduction of light, colour and sophisticated planning. Scientific work is often thought of as an inward-looking and focused activity that has no need for aesthetics, natural light, comforts or respite. But this facility successfully flips that idea on its head. What impressed the jury most of all is that the building achieves so much without compromising its core function, to deliver world-class laboratories conforming to the strictest of biosecurity standards. Congratulations once again to Mode.
It's really exciting tonight with Mode, and I'm here with Beck and Jessica. They took out 2 awards this year, one for interior architecture in Manunda and the other one for the work they did out at Berrima Farm. A really exciting projects. It'd be great to just talk us through both of them.
Sure. Do you want to do Manunda first? Sure. What would you like to know?
Well, it's one of the things that we really liked about it is, you know, you go up through the centre, it's very cohesive, and that's really nice to see, especially when it's often just seen as a government office.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good for those design areas. So
Awesome. It's great that it came across that way. We were also trying to really break down the barriers of the norms of the office, and that the 4 walls and very white and drab. So helping to bring in some of the outside, but also increase the circulation and ventilation around, and locating all the offices to the core and things like that. So.
I think the natural light is one of the really nice things, because, you know, it can feel like a long day when you can't see outside. And with the Berrima Farm challenges, you know, you're dealing with biosecurity issues, and that would have been a fun project, but also a lot to learn as part of the journey.
It was a great project. Like the technical challenges of the project are one of the things that make it really great. We tried to reflect the technical complexity of the project in the design.
Yeah.
So that's sort of reflected on the external walls, but also internally the internal colours reflect the sort of...
And the wayfinding and flow and everything as well.
Yeah. Help to, you know,
identify the labs and where everything is.
And the labs are very open and bright, and often scientists are seen to be hiding in a back room somewhere, but you can see by the colours you're reflecting not just the territory but also the way people work now.
Yeah, the glazed partitions between, like the labs are fully glazed on the front, so even though they're double barrelled, the natural light really gets in, which is things to really notice in the space.
And again, breaking down the barriers of the norms of what you expect to see from a lab, and bringing the natural light into the core.
Yeah,
it's really
important.
important.
Great, both really exciting projects. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, Raquel. Thank you.
And wrapping up the evening, the RDH cyclotron picked up the last two major awards of the night. The Reverend John Flynn Award for Public Architecture and the top award that can be bestowed at the Northern Territory Architecture Awards, the Tracy Memorial Award. Here's what the jury had to say in their citation for this exceptional project.
Of all the projects shortlisted in this year's awards program, the RDH cyclotron by DKJ is a wonderful example of how successful architecture is the product of collaboration and integration. The social purpose of this building cannot be understated, and the stakeholders who committed to this project are to be commended. The success of this building relied on DKJ recognising their role was to listen and enable. Where they could, the architect imbued the building with a touch of design flair, but always their decisions were restrained and never arbitrary. At all times, DKJ worked tirelessly to ensure their project partners felt and were empowered. Congratulations once again to DKJ Projects Architecture.
And Raquel had a quick chat with special guest Eva Lawler, Minister for Infrastructure, Planning and Logistics, and David King-Jones from DKJ Projects Architecture at the end of the night.
Tonight we're here with David King-Jones from DKJ Architects and Minister Lawler. The cyclotron won tonight for the Tracy as well as for Public as the named award, and I think it's really fantastic, exciting project. You've been a part of it from the beginning?
Yes, it is an amazing project. I've had the opportunity to do a walkthrough and have a look at it when it was completed, and it is truly I just hope Territorians understand the value of that building, but it is truly magnificent. It just blew me away having a look at it.
Fantastic. David, it's an exciting project.
Well, it certainly is. So, look, thank you, Minister. Yeah. But I think we should note it's a bipartisan political project. It was committed to, I think, by the NT and federal. And it's a street cancer, so it's a community-based project. Technically very strong, but it's of direct benefit to the community, and I think that's the key part of it. So we're very proud and happy to be involved in a project that has direct. People don't have to fly down to get treated. They stay here.
And right next to Alan Walker Clinic there, so
which we did as well.
Yes, and Sitzler. So so lovely project, and great. Well done to.
Thank you very much.
It's a great win. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
And the formalities in Darwin ended with a few words from Minister Lawler.
Good evening, everybody. It's lovely to be here, but you do look very dark out there, I must say. It is an absolute pleasure to be here, and happy 60th birthday as well to the Architects Association of the Northern Territory. I could tell you it's my 60th birthday this year as well, but I'm probably trying not to talk about that one too much. What can I say that's probably, let me think. First of all, as I said, it is lovely to see such a diverse range of awards, and the cyclotron project is really an amazing project. I was very fortunate to be able to get a guided tour of the cyclotron recently, and it was simply stunning. So thank you to all of you out there tonight. Thank you to all the award winners, but also to Rossi and to Rachel. Raquel, well done. Great awards night. Thank you.
And that was the 2022 Northern Territory Architecture Awards. Congratulations once again to all of the winners, and thanks to the national and local corporate partners for their ongoing support of the Institute and, of course, the awards program. I hope you enjoyed our wrap-up of this year's NT Architecture Awards. Thanks so much for watching.
You've been watching the 2022 NT Architecture Awards, proudly supported by BlueScope and Taubmans, Alspec, Dulux and Brickworks, Bondor Matecno, Lysart, Fielders and Bosch, Plan Cover and Architecture Media, as well as the NT Chapter Partners, Gerfloor, WSP, QS Services, Northern Territory Government, Rossi Architects and Power Concepts.